Hello everyone, I'm thrilled to be here today at Nuxt Nation. Since the launch of Nuxt 3, the tagline had been create performance and production-grade full-stack web apps. But what does that really mean and how does it stand today? And prepare your phone, you will have a QR code to scan in a few slides. Before we dive into the topic, let me introduce myself. I am Esteban, and I've been using Nuxt for years now. I create some modules like Nuxt authorization to manage permissions within app, and I write articles about everything I play with, like Vue, Nuxt, WordPress, and Laravel. You can easily find me online if you want to follow my work or ask me questions. We're rethinking how applications are built. This quote isn't mine, but from Cloudflare in 2020 about their workers. Workers are JavaScript code that runs on the Cloudflare Edge network, but we'll see that later. By the end of this presentation, you will have all the key to understand why this quote is so important and how it reflects on Cloudflare's services. But before that, let's understand how applications are built today. What are the essential needs for web application? This is the question I'm asking you today, and you have 30 seconds to answer. You can scan the QR code or go to the URL on the chat. And I really hope everything will work. This question will ensure we're all on the same page, and it helps us to understand Cloudflare services later. Oh, we have the first one. Let's go. It's working. So the answer to this question is this is so cool. Okay. The answer to this question is all of them. Every web application needs a database, a KV store, a blob storage, a queue, and a mailer. Within one of these, creating a serious web application becomes very difficult. Interestingly, in a traditional web app, you might consolidate your KV store and queue into a database to simplify your architecture. Okay. And once you have your applications, you need to deploy it somewhere to make it available to everyone. Traditionally, you deploy your application in a single server in one location. This server is known as the origin server, is the source of truth of your application. The farther users are from your server's location, the slower your application will be for them. For example, an application deployed in Paris is fast for European users, but for users in regions like Oceania, such as Sydney, it starts to get slow, which can be a problem. Now that we know how traditional applications are built and deployed, let's see how Cloudflare is rethinking this. First, let's talk about Cloudflare Network, which is the foundation of all of their services. With a network of over 330 data centers, each little dot on this beautiful map, Cloudflare is within 50 milliseconds of 99% of the population. This is incredible. And unlike traditional providers with regions like EU West 3 or US East 1, Cloudflare has a single region, Earth. This means that your code is deployed near everyone in the world without you having to manage it. On top of the network, Cloudflare has built a set of services that developers can use to make their applications. Do you remember the essential needs for a web application we talked about earlier? There was a KV store, a database, a blob storage, a queue, and a mailer. Interestingly, Cloudflare provides a service for nearly all of them. A KV store for a distributed key-value storage, D1 for a scalable SQL database, R2 for the blob storage, and queues for handling async tasks. The only missing part is the mailer, but maybe one day. These are all primitives, but because of the distributed and serverless nature, Cloudflare can provide a range of high-level services that use these primitives. Pages to deploy full-stack applications in seconds, Vectorize on Workers AI to build and deploy applications, Web Analytics to track and analyze your web traffic, workflows to automate your applications, and durable objects to coordinate multiple clients. And each time, the idea is always the same. You write the code and they take care of the rest. They deploy it on the region Earth, and every services are interconnected. The developer experience is incredible, and you can access services that were previously unthinkable. But with all these services, the complexity increases, and integrate them into a framework can be a challenge. It's a new paradigm that needs to be understood and tamed. And that's where NuxtHub comes in. We all know the love from Nuxt for a good developer experience. NuxtHub is your full stack companion to build, deploy, and manage Nuxt applications, or specifically full stack Nuxt applications that makes usage of Cloudflare services a breeze. First, it's a module that wraps all Cloudflare services, the KV store, D1, L2, and queues. Everything works locally and in production without code change. Then, it is also a CLI to speed up your development and deployment process. You can create a new application, access to the storage remotely, and deploy your application in 1 minute. And finally, it's a dashboard to manage your applications. You can see deployment, logs, and even manage your data. And because it's built on top of Cloudflare services, you can deploy from a Git repository or add a custom domain in seconds at a very affordable price, even free. NuxtHub is also adding higher level services like Vectorize, browser rendering, real-time, and crons. And if you don't believe me, read the word from Sébastien Chopin, creator of Nuxt, on NuxtHub. And you know the best part? You can get started today for free. Thank you, everyone. I really hope you enjoy the talk. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat.
We do have a few questions. All right. So, how does server-side experience in Nuxt 3 compare to other frameworks? What's unique about Nuxt's approach?
I think it's a very difficult question because it's really the next experience. So we all know how good the DX is, the developer experience is with Next. So you have all the great developer experience, and you have all the power of Nitro and NGS, but you have it's also very different because actually it targets with NuxtHub Cloudflare on the serverless, so it's different. And yeah, the serverless approach is unique in Next, but you can deploy it everywhere thanks to Nitro.
Thank you. And last question. Looking ahead, what are some of the features or integrations you're most excited about with Nuxt full stack evolution?
The health part is maybe the most exciting one, because when you will be able to in just a few lines of code, integrate any house provider like Sebastian showed us at the beginning of Nuxt Nation, or when you will be able to manage your users from a dashboard, a pre-built dashboard. I think it will be awesome, but we have to wait because I think people are building it. So we have to be patient.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Esteban. We appreciate it.